They was watching me build my business and stuff like that, like they see the crystals and stuff like that, and I didn't know that they can reverse your destiny. You know that? I didn't know that, right? I learned firsthand.
Yeah, they can take your energy and stuff.
They can take your destiny. Yo, so the only way to really break a curse is through prayer and through frequency. So if your frequency's so high, it can't even hit your aura field, because it'll bounce. That's what you call a ring of fire. It'll bounce right off you. Africa really didn't lose the land, right? They lost his mindset. The land is still here. The gold is still here. Everything is still here. It's the mindset that they lost, right? So I'm like, how can we fix that? So it's like, and then you have a culture of superstitions, right? Like, oh no, that's the devil, chakras. But once we understand that everything is ours, when you think about Hinduism, Buddhism, all them people, all the main deities was black. Shiva was black, Buddha was black, all it. And then you think about, when you think about yoga, go to Egypt and look at the walls. You'll see the hieroglyphs. You'll see us been doing this eons ago. You have to be careful, especially when you're pregnant, who you let touch you, because they can curse you. They can curse your baby. So that's what happened with me, and that's why I kind of like feel a certain way about certain things, you know, because I actually took a loss spiritually by witches and demons and warlocks. This stuff exists.
It does exist.
It exists.
In a world where Africans have lost their roots, it has become of vital importance to document our ways. In an effort to reverse the brainwashing of the past, where we were made to believe our ways are demonic, we are pressed to create dignified and respectful platforms to unpack our spiritual ways. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs or position of this channel, its hosts, or affiliates. This podcast is a platform for open discussions and exploration of various perspectives, including controversial and unconventional ideas. We encourage viewers to think critically, do their own research, and form their own opinions. The content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as fact, advice, or an endorsement of any specific viewpoint. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Moya light, Moya bright. Welcome to another episode of Moya Political Series. It's such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much, guys. The numbers are growing. Thank you for all your support. We really, really, really appreciate it. And we appreciate that you're watching the adverts till the end. It is showing that you guys are watching the adverts till the end. So thank you. And thank you to the members for making sure that we keep the lights on. Thank you. We love delivering the work that we do. So when you guys put in your bid, it really makes a difference. So, you know, I always give you the teachers who are going to give you the education that you're not going to get at the Mlungu schools. Today, I've got a guest, Jah Cyrus, who works with the young children at Orange Farm.
Yes, indeed.
Because you know it's not Orange Farm, no? It's Orange Farm.
Yes,
Thank you
indeed.
so much for
Welcome.
joining us. And let me just start by asking, what brought you to South Africa? And where do you come from?
So I'm from California, Silicon Valley, born and raised. I came to South Africa. It was a calling to come here to do spiritual work, to create this technology that we created. And it took me from, it was a journey to get to South Africa because I went to India, Peru, Belize, all throughout South America, all throughout America. Like in America, like you have Mount Shasta, what's the other part? What's the mountains right there? Right there at Sedona, Arizona. So all these places is energetic spots. So I went there to train, like spiritual, to train, like to tap in, I would say, to like energetic energy, you know. So all these places have vortexes and portals too. So it was like I went for training, and then after the training, I was told, because I was channeling my mother energy was coming to me. So I was told I had to go to, at first I had to break a generational curse. So it was like a series of things, and I went to...
How did you know that you had a calling?
Okay, because my girlfriend, right, at the time, she was clairvoyant, and she would channel in her sleep. And when my mother first made a transition, my mother would channel through her. And it was the craziest thing because I remember just laying in the bed and I heard my mother because she had just made a transition and she used to have this laugh like, and my girlfriend made that laugh and I looked at her and my mom was like, don't be scared. I was like, I'm not scared. She was like, I was like, Mom? And she was like, yes, it's me. And I was like, first thing I asked because she died suddenly, so I was like, are you all right? Where you at? She was like, I'm fine. So that was the first time she came to me, but she kind of didn't give me no specific orders and stuff like that. But then she was the one that started telling me to go to these specific places for training. And at the time, it was kind of like, it was way outside the box, right? But the biggest trick that made me go on this spiritual, I would say, mission was when my mother died, they made a transition. And then me and my girl, because I got left the real estate. So I got left all the problems. I got left the money, the real estate, and the problems, right? But I was already into real estate and having my own business. So the family was kind of mad, but they already knew what it was. Because I was the one that was always paying the bills, taking care of my grandmother, all this stuff. So when she made a transition, she left me all the real estate and everything else. People was mad about that. So I had to deal with a lot of fighting within the family and stuff like that, but it had stressed me out too. And I had wanted to go get my chakras balanced. And then I went to the place to go get the chakras balanced. The people that balanced the chakras wasn't there. And it was a psychic there. So I was like, I don't deal with psychics. So I was like, I don't want to know about my future. That's why I was kind of telling my woman at the time. She was like, let's just go do it. And I was like, okay. And I went to go there. Because we was already there, so I sat down in front of the psychic, and then when I sat there, she just started crying, like boo-hoo tears. And I'm looking at my girl like, why is she crying? And then she wrote down on a piece of paper, she was like, go here. She was like, tell them I sent you. So we read the paper. It was a place called Divine Lineage in Mendocino, California. And she basically told me, you part of this bloodline. So I'm like, so anyways, make a long story short, to speed it up, I called them the next day. We went out there. We stayed there for 3 days. And then that's when I got initiated as a high priest. So I didn't know I was a high priest. So what happened is you already initiated in the spirit realm, right? And you do the ceremony here on earth. So I had to do the ceremony. And once I got initiated as a high priest, that's when I started going to India, Peru, Belize, and training. So I was trained for warfare. I was trained to battle demons, witches, all this type of stuff, right? So when I got finished doing all the training, then they sent me on a mission. It was the craziest thing. So I went to, the first mission was my friend. He had got killed. He got murdered. So again, my girl, she was challenged. She was sleeping. She was like, and my friend came through her. He was like, Jah, I need your help. No, he was like, Jah, I need your help. And I'm like, Eddie? And he was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I said his name, okay. I was like, Ed. He was like, yeah. I was like, what's up? I like, what you need? He was like, I need for you to help me. I need you to help me cross over. And I was like, I ain't never crossed nobody over. I'm like, how do I do that? He was like, just go to the store, get some white flowers, get some sage. He told me a few things to get. So my girl woke up that morning, right? I told her, I'm like, look, Ed channeled through you. He's stuck. He said he need me to help him cross over, right? So we go to the store, we bought all the stuff. And the place he got killed at, because I used to always stop by there, and at the time I used to, have a little drink and smoke my little marijuana, and that's what we used to do. So I used to sit there with it, and then I would leave, and I'd stop going. And he was like, because basically he was telling me he was cold. He was like, you pass by me all the time. He was like, you used to stop. I was like, but I moved. I live in Vegas now. And he was like, that's when he was telling me he need my help. So I went there and we did the ceremony, and then a big gust of wind just said, and he crossed over, right? And that was the first time that I ever crossed someone over. Then the second time was my little cousin. He died off an overdose of pills. But he was, how can I say, he was a good kid. And he kind of let his family down in a sense. And people was like, how do you so I had to go cross him over. But then after that, each time the mission started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Then from there, it's this haunted mansion in North Carolina. It's called the Bidmore Mansion Estate. It's like hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, probably thousands of Africans. I don't like calling nobody slaves. Like thousands of Africans died there, right? And they died because they built the house and they used to get raped, get tortured and stuff like that. So it was an area that they would all hang and sing. So I had to go there and cleanse the energy up and then cross the ancestors over. So I'm what you call a psychopath. So a psychopath had the ability to cross the dead over. So from there, each time the mission got bigger and bigger. So I'm working on my way to get to Africa, right? So then it was like, okay, you have to go to Dominican Republic, right? So in Dominican Republic, that's where the Atlantic slave trade first started at, right? So when the Africans left Senegal or Gorée Island, the Gate of No Return, they took a certain route and they landed in what you call Haiti and Dominican Republic. It's the same island, right? So I had to go there, and when I went there, the energy was really, really strong. And you have water spirits there too, right? You had the mermaid spirits, you have all that stuff. So when I went there, I had to close portals, right? So you have portals where entities come in and out, in and out. And the places, yeah, portals. So you have portals where energy come in and out. So it's like a portal. And so I had to go there. I had to go to the portals and close the portals. So I went to all their main spots. I hit what spot I hit first? Plus I got everything recorded too. You know, because I was traveling. I went to these places. So I went to the place where they did how could I say they high ranking officials where they buried at. But it was a lot of portals there. So I closed them portals. I closed the portals in the water. And when I did it, you can just the energy just got calm in the water, right? So boom, that was that. I stayed up, and then what happened was it was crazy. After I do that, it was a big storm. It was right before it was like 2000. It was like 2023, but it was a big storm. The whole city flooded after we shut down the portals, right? Because what I do is I go reclaim the space in the name of the ancestors. So I roll with a legion of angels. So it's just not me. I'm an Egyptian high priest. So boom, from there, I was like, all right. So I'm like, all right. So we do that one, right? And so now I go back to Miami, right? So now I'm in Miami, and the ancestors is like, you have to go to Mexico. I'm like, I'm not. I was like, for what? They was like, you have to go to Mexico. So I'm spending a lot of money at this time. I'm like, I'm not ready to go to Mexico. And then I was like, okay, well, you have to go to, because now I got to break my generational curse. So now I have to go to Costa Rica. It's a place called Rhythmia. Now, if you look it up, Oprah Winfrey, they went there. Terrence Howard, Andre 3. It's a spiritual place. So you do ayahuasca, right? You heard of that?
I've heard of it.
So you do ayahuasca for so it's a 7-day retreat. It costs like $10,000. That's the cheapest package. That's the package I got. Mostly people would spend like $20,000. So I went there, and I'm finna do the ayahuasca. And before I can do it, I got attacked spiritually because remind you, I just came back from Dominican Republic, crossing over the ancestors. So I had all these demonic spirits attached to my aura field. And what was crazy, my phone, now I talked to a few females there, right? But my phone, now I'm getting messages of pictures of mermaid women all on my phone. Like, what the heck is this, right? I'm not even knowing, all this stuff has happened to me, right? For as on a spiritual level, getting these spirits is attached to me. So when I get to Costa Rica, I do the ayahuasca. Before I can do it, I got attacked. I almost died. And you can ask them. They say I had the worst experience in 13,000 clients. And then when I got attacked, because I call myself sitting in the front, right? Because I want to connect, right? And it's a bunch of shamans that's blowing. I forgot the name of that smoke. It's some kind of tobacco. But as I'm sitting in the front, I get attacked and I almost pass out, and I'm just sweating. I'm sweating. And the lady, it was a shaman lady, her name, what was her name? Crow, Ray Crow or something. She was fanning me with a feather, and then she was like, are you okay? I was like, I'm okay. And I'm just sweating. And she was like, what's your name? Where have you come from? And I told her where I just came from, what I came from doing. She was like, oh, that's not the first time I ever heard of a psychopath. She's like, you a psychopath? It sounds like a psychopath, right? So I'm like, what is that? And then she tells me, and then it was crazy. So I'm on the ground, and I hear my mother in my ear, get up, because I'm crawling back to my bed. My mother walk, get up. You don't crawl, walk, get up. So I'm hearing my mama tell me, so I get up and I kind of stumble to the bed, and all the beds was on the floor because people, when they do ayahuasca, they spit up and they throw up and they urinate on themselves. It's like a crazy, it's like it's DMT, you go to the underworld and you fight and face your demons, right? So yeah, it's some powerful stuff. So after I do all that, That was the first day. And then, so now I'm on my bed. Remind you, I ain't even took the ayahuasca yet, right? But in my mind, like, I just spent all this money, bruh. I'm not finna punk out. I gotta take the ayahuasca. So as I got, cause the ceremony start from 5 p.m. and it end like around 3 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
So I kind of, like, after I felt I was stronger, I walked back up to the line where some people was on their second shot, right? So I finally get my first one and I do it and I kind of go in the underworld and it was just crazy. I kind of don't remember exactly what happened, but say after the sixth day of doing it, I was getting stronger and stronger. And I had spit up. At the end, it was a leech that was within me. And after I spit that up, I knew I broke the curse. So I broke the curse. I was like, leaving. I got scars on my legs because I was fighting in the spirit realm. You actually get, like, physically get assaulted. So I had scars on my leg and stuff. And then the last day I told my girl, I was like, get me out of here. I was scared. I'd never been that scared in my life. I was like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Give me a ticket. Give me a ticket. Because I was really, really scared, right? So she was like, so I had a house in Vegas. So I was like, I'm going back to Vegas. I'm not doing this. I kind of like didn't want to do the mission no more. I was like, I don't care what the ancestors say. I'm not doing this no more. I almost died. So I'm arguing, right, with the ancestors because it's that serious, right? And I go back home. I go to Vegas. And then I go back to California, where I'm from. And I open up a business. I open up a holistic business because I'm a Reiki 3 master and I'm a meditation teacher and I'm an herbalist, right? So I kind of open up a business around holistic health. That's what I've been doing. I've been reversing cancer, shit like that. Any disease we reverse. So I'm back to that. I'm like, I just want to do this. But now my mom, she telling me, because I'm channeling her, I hear in my ear, she's telling me, you can rest, but you can't quit. You can't quit on a mission. You can rest. So I'm like, I'm not doing it no more. This is me, right? I'm like, no. And I wind up spending like 50,000 USD cash on opening up a business, buying a new car, and a whole bunch of stuff. And they laughing at me because because no clients came. I'm like, bro, I just spent all this money. And it's like, you got to do the mission. You can't. No, it ain't no punking out. So I'm like, wow. So I felt I was strong enough. I was like, okay, I'm strong enough now. I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to go. So it's like, you got to go to Africa. I'm like, to Africa? I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking I'm coming to Africa just to visit, right? I'm like, I'm coming out. Everybody in America want to come to Africa. You know, it's just like they always complain about the trip, it take too long, this, that, and the other. But I'm down. I'm ready to go. I'm like, okay, I go to Africa. So first thing I did was go to Senegal. So Senegal, because remember I had to still retract the trip because remember I went to Dominican Republic where the slaves arrived at. Now I got to go where they got taken at. So I had to go to Senegal and I had met this high priest right here. Let me show you. He was waiting on me. He was like, brother, I heard your footsteps coming. Welcome home. And I'm like, let's work. So him right here. So this is the high priest right here in Grey Island. So when I got there, he already knew my footsteps. He was like, I heard your footsteps coming. I was like, could I work? He was like, yeah. So I started going into all the dungeons. And in these dungeons, it was a lot of, the energy was really, really, really thick, right? So we started cleansing the energy, breaking the energy up, and you can just feel the energy just evaporating all the negative energy. So after that, it was like, okay, boom, I stayed there for like 7 days. Then it was like, okay, South Africa. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, I'm ready to go to South Africa because it looked like it's fly, right?
Exactly.
I'm like, they speak English. Like, it's to South Africa because I'm watching, what's that show? Kings of Joburg. So I got a feel of the vibe, right? I'm like, yeah, send me to Joburg.
You're going to Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm ready to go, right? So when I get here, it take me like 3 flights from West Africa. So boom, I land here. And I supposed to went to Cape Town, but my luggage was busted because of all the stops. So I was like, you know what, I'm staying here. Because I kind of wanted to get the vibe of South. I didn't really want the Hollywood all the way. I wanted to kind of tap into what Nelson Mandela and them grew up with Soweto. I wanted to be in the hood because I'm from the hood, so I can adapt to this, right? So I'm here. And so it was a lot of stuff that happened here, right, when I get here. So I'm here, but I'm not knowing nothing about the culture. It's like a coach. I'm seeing all these black people, so I'm like sprung on that. I'm like, damn, black people everywhere. Like, it's crazy because in America, you would think there's a lot of black folks there, but it's not. It's 400 million black people in America. 400 million people in America. It's only 40 million black, so we only 10% of the population. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. So, and then we in pockets, Chicago, Atlanta, so we not really just integrated within the city. So coming here was like a culture shock. And it was amazing. It's still amazing. You know, when you hear people say, welcome home, brother, and stuff like that. So it was it was like me just I would say, just assimilating myself with what was going on here, you know. And so I started kind of tapping into the energy, and I had so I didn't know nothing about Sangomas, traditional healers, Tokaloshis, mermaid spirits. I didn't know nothing about none of this, right? This I'm a virgin, right? Like, what the heck? So when I first get here, I stayed in an Airbnb, and the dude, girlfriend, right? He was there helping her, I guess, set up the house for me and stuff. And I told him I'm a doctor, I'm a healer, you know, I do this, do that, and the other, you know, balance chakras. He's like, oh, you a healer? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm going to call your ancestors then. And I'm looking at him like, okay, how? So he claps 4 times, right? He do the clap, and then he goes into this thing, and he started channeling. I'm watching him. And then after he come out the thing, he was like, oh, your ancestors is powerful. He was like, I called your forefathers. He was like, and your mother came. And my mother was adored. Just how he said, she was dressed as the Egyptian high priestess. He was like, she had jewelry and gold, and you know, and she started telling him what to do. Send him to the river. Go get him this tea, the Rebo's tea. He must drink that, I guess, because that grounds me and stuff. So she started telling him stuff to do for me. He didn't do it, though. But she was still giving him directions, right? And after that, it was crazy. It was just like, I would say, things is just like my eyes is just start opening. But I didn't know it was more so I needed, like, I would say healing, right? I needed healing because it was like what I was going through, but also I came with a vibration, right? To break generational curses, right? I was already doing, because the thing is, even so, I don't want to go off track, but like I had a run in with the Singomas too. Can I speak on that?
Absolutely. Because my next question was going to be, isn't it fascinating that African Americans are doing the exact same things as the Africans here with the whole ancestral and our traditional spirituality? So anyways, yes, so get into that.
Yeah, it don't, because the thing is, that's how I was telling my brother. He was like, how do you know the ancestors when you in America? And I'm like, bro, look, do the math. I was like, the human being, I was like, the oldest bone was found in South Africa, which is called Lucy, 3.5 million years old. So our DNA is that old. You think 400 years is going to stop something? I was like, if you take a lion and raise him and take him up out of the Serengeti and raise him in America in a zoo, I was like, and leave him there for 100 years, and you bring that same lion back, and you put him in the Serengeti, he see a gazelle, guess what? He gonna, even though he been getting hand fed, his instinct's gonna want to chase him. His instinct is gonna kick in. He never lost that. He just forgot how to hunt. You know what I'm saying? I was like, so it's the same thing. So you can't, you know, because the DNA is still there. So, but with the so people, so this is what people would think, right? Honestly, because I'm American, right? African American, whatever. They think I'm some kind of color from Cape. I didn't even know what that was. It's like, are you a color from Cape? I'm like, what is that? It's like, that's Dutch and African. I'm like, nah, in America, you black. Once you have a black blood, you don't get to know. So it was kind of like, you know, that was another culture thing. But people generally don't know, right? So y'all have a big awakening going on in Africa. Huge. Like the youth right now has this calling on them, and they can go to the left or go to the right. They can go to the light or go to the dark. And a lot of them, you know, they in limbo. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. And so what happened with me was when, as being a priest, right, I didn't know Singomas, I'm not trying to categorize them either, so let me be clear. Just say a witch, because he told me he was a witch, so let's take the Sangoma out the door. But he said he's Sangoma, but a Sangoma witch. So they was watching me build my business and stuff like that, like they see the crystals and stuff like that. And I didn't know that they can reverse your destiny. Shit. You know that? I didn't know that, right? I learned firsthand.
Yeah, they can take your energy and stuff.
They can take your destiny. And it was weird because I didn't know nothing about it. And so I'm sitting working on my business. And a couple of Sangomas, I used to see them all the time. And then one of them, you know, we exchanged like Instagrams and stuff like that. It was following. She told me he was a witch. And I told her, I was like, I'm a witch slayer, bro. I was like, I go around the world just murphing witches. You know what I'm saying? Really, I do. I was like, so you telling me you're a witch don't scare me. I've been all around the world battling. You know what I'm saying? For real. So I know what you know. You don't know what I know, right? At the end of the day. So we talking. Boom, that's that. Because I had to let him know where I stood at. You know what I'm saying? And maybe 3 days later, a week later, he come. He was like, Jah. I was like, what's up? He's like, I noticed one of your chakras blocked. I was like, oh, for real? I was like, which one? He's like, your sacral chakra. He's like, could I remove it? He's like, if I remove it, you'll be way more powerful, and you could just think about somebody and hurt them. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't want to think about nobody and hurt nobody, bro. So he was like, but you'll be powerful. So I'm like, I'm not really scared, but I'm not knowing how powerful the magic is here either, right? So I let him go into my aura field, right? And he in my aura field, and then he comes out like 30 seconds later. He's like, wow. First thing came out of his mouth, he's like, wow, wow. I was like, what's up? He's like, I saw so much gold and so much water, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dang, so much gold and so much water. So I was like, he's like, I now removed the blockage. He's like, now you can just think about somebody and hurt them. So I'm like, oh man, that's kind of some powerful stuff. I'm like, well, you know, I ain't there, but I'm still stuck on the gold and the water. I'm thinking the gold come from my bloodline, ancient Egyptian bloodline, right? So when I go home, he don't know that I can channel. He don't know I can cross-reference everything he done did. He don't know who he dealing with, right? He really don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I go home and I channel. I connect with my mom. No, let me rewind it. So after he does that, he was like, I saw so much gold and water. And then he was like, all right, bro, I'm gone. So he hurried and packed his stuff up and like skipped away. He damn near ran. If he could have ran, he would have ran. But he was skipping. He got to his friends. He gathered his stuff and he just left. I'm like, man, that was kind of weird. He left hella fast. I was like, but I'm not tripping. I ain't known he reversed. He stole my gift, right? I didn't know you can get spiritually robbed, right? So I'm like, okay. so when I go home, I channel. I connect, boom. And I connect with my mom. And then I was like, Mom, I was like, what he talking about that I'm more powerful now? I can think about somebody hurt him. She was like, we told him not to unlock that. We told him not to unlock that gift because you still got anger issues. You're not responsible enough for that gift.
Yeah.
She said, she was like, but not only that, he stole. I was like, he stole what? She was like, you remember he said that water and that gold? I was like, yeah. Because he said he saw so much gold, he couldn't even see it. I was like, yeah. She was like, the gold represent what you're going to build on this timeline and the kind of wealth you're going to accumulate. The water represent the life you're going to give. And I'm like, what? And boom, it was it. She was gone. So the meditation was over. So the next day, I go looking for him, right? He ain't there. Boom, I double back. I'm like, bro, what bro? He ain't there. Oh, he's probably in the popo. He's, whatever. So I already kind of know I got robbed, right, at the end of the day. So I kind of had an idea. I'm like, well, if it's for you, it's for you. He can't really just take it. You know, it's probably delayed for me now, something like that. But I just still kept pushing. 3 days later, right, I'm on Instagram. Boom, I see him getting out the hospital. I was like, what happened to bro? His whole head is wrapped up. I'm like, damn. I'm like, what happened to dude? He's showing a video of something. He was at a club, somebody hit him in the head with a bottle. He had all kind of gases in his head, right? So I was like, dang. I was like, that's kind of, but then it occurred to me, I'm like, because I know I'm protected.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm divinely protected. So I was like, let me tap in with my mom. Tap in with her. And she had that same, hey. I was like, what happened with dude? She was like, put it this way, we sped up his karma. Oh. She was like, we told him he was divinely protected. And I was like, whoa. So now I'm like, damn, I ain't trying to come out here and be beefing with no Singamas, right? Like, I was like, I just got out here, right? So I'm like, whatever. But I'm not scared either, though, right? So whatever, boom. So I see him the next day. Because remember, he been gone for like a week. And then he sees me. He's on the other side. We in Rosebank by the Starbucks. And he on the other side of the street. I'm on the other side of the street. He sees me. And he kind of tried to avoid me. But I'm like, bro, you did this shit to me. Like, excuse my language. You did it to me. But I can do this and put a ring of fire around me, right? So I do this. He see me do that. He's like, Jah Cyrus. I was like, what's up? And then he told me, like, he got into it at a club and this, that, and the other. But in his heart, he knew why it happened. But after that, though, that was kind of like, I think that was that because he had a crew of Singamas that he used to be with. So it's kind of like, I'm not kind of like hands off, And from that point on, it was just like people would start coming to me. I started breaking generational curses. That's what they see. They started talking about me, too. And I had Sangoma women wanting to marry me based on my spiritual powers and stuff like that. Didn't even really know me because I was breaking curses. So I had a situation where a Zulu friend of mine, right, from KZN, he came, he told me all the men in his family was dying. They had a generational curse because they changed their last name. So I never heard nothing like that. So he was like, I need your help, Jah. I was like, all right. He was like, what we must do? I was like, let's go to the spirit room and cross that. Because basically, people's powers is, if they working in the dark, their powers is really, really weak. I can kind of like take a lot of people, that ain't my job to come and do, but you can just really snap a person apart. So all you got to do is an ancestor that they challenge, cross it over because they stuck on the third dimension. So with him, the uncle, I was like, just come in the house. I was like, we'll do a ceremony. We gonna go to the spirit room and cross him over. So he come in the house, we do the thing, boom. I get him in the spirit realm, and I tell him what to do. Just tell him to go to the light. So after he come out the meditation, I'm like, what happened? He was like, I saw him. He was like, bruh, this dude was like dressed in like the 1600s. This how old this curse was. This dude was doing it. Like, he was dressed in like the 1600s. He was all frail and stuff. And then I asked him, I was like, bruh, like, why is you killing all the men in our family? And he was like, y'all changed y'all last name. He was like, this happened way before my great grandfather. He was like, it is what it is. Go to the light. And he said, bro, went to the light. And after that, like his whole life has just been better and better and better. Like all this stuff I got recorded because I had it on my TikTok thing. And then I had another female that had a curse on her, right? She was from Zimbabwe. And I didn't even try to break the curse on her. I was just doing the cleanse on her because what happens is when you get bewitched, when you get people do muti on you, all that stuff, it's energy. Yeah. And so the only way to really break a curse is through prayer and through frequency. So if your frequency's so high, it can't even hit your aura field because it'll bounce. That's what you call a ring of fire. It'll bounce right off you. So I cleansed her, boom. After cleansing her, she goes home and she was like, Jah. I was like, what's up? She was like, when you was doing the cleansing on me, she was like, my sister was at home and she said a big gust of wind came through the house and broke the vase. She was like, and the vase was her mother remains. And they say in Africa, when you break glass, you break a curse.
Yes.
That's what she told me. She was like, so around the time, so I was like, real? She was like, yeah, and it's no wind come through the house. So I was like, okay, whatever. A week later, she calls me. She's like, my mother back. Basically, I broke her mother out of a spiritual jail that her uncle put her in. Let me just say it. Her uncle put her in, and then they had a curse on her too. So what happened was when I broke the curse on a female, it broke the curse on a generation. Yeah. So it broke the curse with the curse that they had on their mama, everybody. So boom, that's how that frequency happened. And from that point on, it's like, because even with the technology I got, so I had to fight to get this. So what I do is what I had to fight is principalities. So here in Africa, you got principalities. You got, just like you have anywhere else, you have a governor, a mayor that runs the city. So it's like you have people up under them, then you have mayors and stuff, and the president. So what I do, I fight principalities. I don't even deal with witches and warlocks. They weak. I don't even deal with them because they not, how can I say? I'm higher ranking in the spirit realm. So for instance, when I see, I'm right here, I'm in Egypt, right? So when I went to Egypt, people thought I was there visiting. I went there to do ceremonies and do rituals. I went there to cross the ancestors over. That was like, because just like in the spirit realm, in the physical realm, you have political prisoners. Mm-hmm. So just like how Nelson Mandela, Winnie Mandela, political prisoners, you have that in the spirit realm too. And they be in a sarcophagus or just, very unjustly. That's another thing. That's like if you think about Soweto, right? In Soweto, when the AIDS epidemic, they was just burying people on top of each other, right? So a lot of them souls, that's a spiritual jail. That's why a lot of people go there and conjure up their spirits, turn them into chokolokis and stuff like that. So that's because when that was happening, a lot of the priests wasn't there to do the ceremony to cross the ancestors over that died. So you have a lot of ancestors that stuck, what you call on the third dimension, and they haven't crossed over. So that's why all this witchcraft coming in at, because they can use these energies and these forces. So I had a young brother, Lil Sangoma, and he don't want to be a Sangoma no more for whatever reason. And he just had a lot of different things going on. He had a spiritual wife and when I broke the curse, she came to me. And it was crazy because it's like, because I cleansed him. It was some white chick he was like, used to sleep with. You know what I'm saying? He used to tell me. And then I cleansed him. And then 2 days later, she showed up in my dream. So it's like the spiritual things here is so powerful because I think what it is, this is the birthplace of humanity. You guys have all the minerals in the dirt. Gold, diamonds, platinum, uranium. Y'all the most powerful people I ever met in my life, to be honest with you. South Africans, I mean, as far as where I've been to over 30 countries. And the kids too, the youth is just so powerful. And just being able to getting to the point where having to fight to get this technology that I got, right? To help the African, help the American, whoever else vibe on a whole nother frequency, because as they say, the Christ consciousness is coming back, and it's about a vibration, and it's about you being able to manifest. Like for instance, like the technology we develop here, like with this watch, whatever was so not. You can look at this. So basically, it works like this, right? And this was the main thing that, because I'm like, because the whole time I'm like, why am I here? What am I doing? What am I building? I already got a school. I'm already healing people. But it was more so my mama used to always say, baby, you have to have the right idea for the right time. And the right time now it's an awakening. We in the age of Aquarius right now, and it's a big movement spiritually. Africa in general, this is really the future. Africa, South Africa. Why? Because it's the youngest country. Everybody, half the country's under 30, right? And then you have all the minerals and the resources. So if Africa wake up, the whole world wake up. And what I was telling a friend of mine, because I've been here 2.5 years, so I had enough to really research and kick it and know people and stuff like that. And then we were speaking about, because I speak on Black empowerment, right? So we're speaking about how could you empower the people. And I was like, well, number one, when you look at things from like, how can I say, like systemic racism, right? So I was living in Elova, right, at one point. I lived in like 5 different places. And I was like, and I need the internet. I'm like, what's up with this low shit? I never even heard of that, right? So when I moved to Santan, to Black Brick Apartments, they didn't have low shit, they had generators. So I'm like, wow, what a difference it make. Because just think as a counterpart of a guy that might have to stay in Soweto or somewhere where it's low shit, and his counterpart that don't have that, he's going to be more productive over here, right? I was like, how could we balance that out, right? Because we know it's a lot of corruption going on. So looking at that, then I was like, man, if a person was able to meditate, that'd bring a crazy balance. Because this is the thing, and this is why I was going to schools and teaching meditation, is because if Africa in general, right? Because we're not thinking about us, we're thinking about the future, the kids, right? So if Africa going to be able to take their country back, right? Because Africa really didn't lose the land, right? They lost its mindset. The land is still here. The gold is still here. Everything is still here. It's the mindset that they lost, right? So I'm like, how can we fix that? So it's like, and then you have a culture of superstitions, right? Like, oh no, that's the devil, the chakras. But once we understand that everything is ours, when you think about Hinduism, Buddhism, all them people, all the main deities was black. Shiva was black, Buddha was black, and then you think about, when you think about yoga, go to Egypt and look at the walls. You'll see the hieroglyphs. You'll see us been doing this eons ago. So in order for, I would say, Africa and any other black institution or a community or a state, city, country, whatever, we have to get our mindset back. Because when I look at it, if the kids that I'm training to run this country, if they meditating at 7, right? And then our kids is dealing with stress and anxieties at 7, who's going to be more productive at 17 and 18? They already got a tool set, right? To how to heal themselves, to how to balance themselves, because everything starts with the mind that when you want to build something, you got to build it in the mind first, then project it into the universe. So that was my whole thing, is to come teach wellness here, because that's going to be that's because the thing that was that everybody, if you trip, everybody kept going back to wellness. Notice they had their speech or whatever they were talking about, but it kept going back to mindset, And so what we developed here is like mindset, because the thing is meditation, right? People run from meditation because they think it takes a long time to meditate, right? I teach people how to meditate in 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then also your body have a pharmacy in it, right? So just like, I'm gonna give you an example. If I was asking you, like right now, raise your hand. So did you raise your hand? Did your hand raise itself, or did you give a command?
I gave a command.
Where did the command come from?
From my mind.
Came from your spirit, then to your mind.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So your spirit is connected to Akasha Records. It's connected to the quantum field. So just as well as you told yourself to raise your hand, you can tell yourself to release certain chemicals in your body too. But we haven't been taught this. This is because you had in the hypothalamus part of your brain, you have a whole pharmacy. And then certain emotions release chemicals, which is like serotonin, endorphins, whatever. That's the pharmacy. So you can heal yourself, and that's what we kind of like bring it to the table, is teaching people how to tap into their mind, because you only use 10% of it. African people, we have the best technology. Our body is soft technology. That's why we can meditate, we can levitate, we can get energy from the sun. We have melatonin in our body. But the thing is, with the brain is offline. Only thing that's going on in Africa with the Africans, African Americans, everywhere, is we have technology, which is a supercomputer that's offline. So nowadays what you have is quantum entanglement, quantum wellness, quantum mechanics, and that's kind of what we do. So like, for instance, if I was just show you, this is like a book I wrote that go into technology, right? So you can give it any command because everything is quantum, right? So if you like, it's certain frequencies, it's certain codes, to activate your DNA. But the technology comes like this though, so you can feel the energy that come off of this, right?
So what is this exactly?
So that's like a connection to the Wi-Fi. If you look at that and then you give it the command, it's like, so what it does, it connects to the retina of your eyes, right? Mm-hmm. And your pupils into the neurons of your brain, and it shifts. It's technology for the body, for the brain. So this is what you call soft technology, soft technology. And you see, you can give it any command, because if you think about this, when someone is working out, right? They say that person can meditate and almost get the same workout as somebody actually working out, right?
Yeah.
Because it's their brain. So you have dominion and control over everything when it comes to your body, your brain, and everything is digital. So when we make, like even this glyph, so you can read this and you can see how you can release endorphins within the body. So this is...
So they work with affirmations, because I'm seeing all this...
Yeah, affirmations. So when I show you this, so just say can I open up all this stuff? Is it good? So just showing you, so this is a book I wrote. So I wrote actually 3 books to go with this. And this just changes everything, because we're not making technology for computers, we're making it for the human brain, right? So just say this one, right? This is for protection, but just say this is the one I was talking about, as far as it's releasing certain chemicals in the body. It's oxytocins. So you have a whole pharmacy in your body and we're not being told this, right? Because the thing is, they give you a synthetic version. Estrogen shot, I'll say you have it already in your body, but you don't know how to release it, and this is how you release it, because you need a signal. This is how this works, right? Just imagine you walk in your house, Series, turn on Tupac Shakur, Series, turn on this show or this show. It's the same thing, but basically what you're doing is you ordering it from the what you call the cloud. The cloud is nothing but a warehouse with a bunch of computers in there with data. With this, you ordering it from the quantum field. You ordering it from your higher self. So when you align divine, I am rich within, you placing the orders in the quantum field. So this technology came to me in a dream. So remember I told you, it goes back to us, like I said, I had to fight for this. This wasn't like, oh, you can just get this. No, I had to come here and fight for this. Even teaching the children in Orangeburg, it was like about 500 children never meditated in their life. Taught them in less than a minute. And the thing is, there's no way possible I could have came, because you have people or energies and entities that already claim souls. They already got claims on souls. That's why you got this high rate of suicidal rate here. You know what I'm saying? Because they already and it's children fighting with their ego, their own self. You know what I'm saying? That's the battle of Set and Horus. You fighting against your higher and lower self within your own brain. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the battle come in at. You fighting against your ego. And your ego generally like bring you down to your lower self. But when you tap into your higher self, you can go above that. And so that's what we teach you how to tap into your higher self. You know, how to tap into it. Even when it comes to manifestation, the reason why people can't manifest, because they tell you, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, abundance come to me, and this, that, and the other. But they tell you that, you might say that, right, which is an affirmation, but it's a feeling. You actually got to feel it. How do you feel it? You have to release certain chemicals in your body to feel good. Think about it. You have to release endorphins and serotonin to feel good. So how do you do that? You have to stay on a certain frequency, right? And this, what this technology do, it keeps you on a frequency, like I was just letting you read it. It keeps your endorphins rolling, because with this technology, the only thing after you, so this is how this works. So in the morning, right, just say you had an important business meeting. You put in your navigation, right? Okay, I'm going here, this, that, and the other, boom. And it gets you there, right? So in the morning you have a mental navigation. That's where the affirmations come in. That's the meditation. You give yourself that affirmation, set that attention, and it gets you straight through there that day. So you have a ring of fire around. Just say one of your friends call you that always got BS going on. She go to voicemail. Girl, I've been trying to call you all day. I can't get through. Because you have protection around you. Nothing negative that's going to stop that mission could have interfered with it. That's how this works. So once you understand how to use your brain and how to manifest certain things, you'll be able to move through life way more successful.
So now, let's go into. It's so funny because I actually called you to Moya Political Series because we're going to talk about the work you do with the children, because we are wanting to know how to raise our children since we're at that age. Okay. And then you went into Moya. So that's what I'm saying. Oh my God, we're going to place this episode. But let's go to the work that you do, and how you end up in Orange Farm. And how things play out and what it is you do there.
So I went there. So I got invited there by a caseworker because the children there was drinking, like they was coming to school with alcohol. Some of them was just dealing with a lot of stress, and a lot of them, how can I say, they knew what stress was, but didn't know what meditation was, right? So I went there and I taught them all how to meditate, right? Like I don't know if you saw how many kids it was, but it was over like about 300. And none of them never even meditate in their life, right? So we use this technology to teach them how to breathe. First is breathing, because with children and stuff like that, you gotta be careful with certain things, you know what I'm saying, because they're parents. So just on a breathing technique, how to breathe, because the average person don't know how to breathe. So once we taught them what to breathe in, you breathe in things you want and you blow out the things you don't want. Because this is God's house. So if it's cluttered with stuff that really is going to uplift you and bring you to a high vibration, you need to release it. So with that work, we was doing it. And what happened was Donald Trump, he put these plays into play where, funding stopped. So we kind of stopped doing it. But I still kept pushing because I was doing it for free anyway. I wasn't looking, because my thing is to do it for the vibration, because the thing is, people that never meditated, they don't know the value of it. So sometimes you gotta just give it to them for free. Like, yeah, check this out. How you like this? So with that, I started helping children then, even online. Then women, I was dealing with a lot of women that was dealing with gender-based violence. And what was going on with them, they had this thing called this wealth guilt going on. Where they were successful, but they didn't like going back home, just say occasionally, I'm just throwing that out there. They would take the bus before they drive their nice car because they was like scared of Muti and this stuff. It was just a lot of stuff going on. So I was able to help a lot of women, just balancing, because everything is mental. Everything is mental. So once you tighten up your mental game, everything else fall in place, because you're no longer I would say living in fear, having anxieties, all this stuff, because you can control these things. And for the children, it's like, to me, it makes the most sense to get these kind of programs in these places where you might have orphans, women that, having kids young and stuff like that. Just give them a tool set, because we don't have a proper tool set to navigate, I would say, this life.
No, we're listening. So what do you do at the school?
So at the school, that was maybe like about 2 months ago. So I was going there. So what I did is I trained a couple of teachers too, because it was easier for me to do that, because my whole thing is to empower people.
Yeah.
I don't want to teach them how to do it, because they're already there with the children. So if you teach them a breathing technique, a grounding technique, it's easier for them to do it than me coming in every week and doing it, So my whole thing is to empower people. So I'm sure the program is still going on with the ladies that I empowered and showed them how to teach their children how to meditate and how to ground themselves and things like that.
Are you intending to do it in other schools as well? Is it a program that you run, or it was just for that school?
It was for a couple of schools. I did one in it was in Lambert. It was a colored school. So my whole thing is to implement these programs in these schools, but also to empower. Like, for instance, I don't think I showed you this, but I wrote a book for kids, right? So this whole book is for children. Where is it here? And it's showing them, right, in their power, in their light. So these is affirmations for children. You want me to show it like this? For here is just for kids. I don't know if it open it up wide. But as you see a kid, because we more than rappers and all that stuff. You see he holding technology in his hand. So the whole thing is
Oh, so you make the kids do affirmations.
yeah. The moms do, whichever one they need to work on. So if they dealing with certain stress, dealing with schools, bullying and stuff
Where
like
did where did parents get this book?
they get it from me online. Like everything is digital.
Okay.
So it can, for instance, like the children, and then it goes all the way down to just different steps that what they have to do.
I'll just put your details in the description box, and then people can just reach out to you then.
Right. Okay. Cool. And
This
so
is great.
yeah, and then it comes with with kids. So I had oh man, this saddens me. I'm gonna be honest. So I had friends of mine, these two colored ladies, right? Because I cleanse houses too, so I had to go to a house and cleanse the energy in the house, right? This was like 2 days ago, and the little girl, she was probably 7, a little Indian girl, and she was really the one that was tormented, right? And I was like, and her father, the one hired me, and to cleanse the house, so the little girl was like, it's spirits all in the house, and they torment her, right? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna come and cleanse it. So when I first got there, I just got hit with the energy. I was like, it's heavy in here, right? So I made my way to the room where the little girl was asleep at, right? Her and her little brother, and she was just sitting on the bed watching me, right? I'm kind of hip hopish, right? Like, you see, I don't look like the spiritual doctor that everybody would think, right? So she's sitting on the bed. He was like, yeah, I introduced myself to her, and then I kind of like just I gauged the room and I zero in on the closet and I walk right to it and I open it and you can just feel the energy. And then the little girl started crying. She was like, that's basically where that spirit be at. I didn't even know. I just felt the energy there and it just fleed. You know what I'm saying? So the little girl, I gave her this. So I make these for children too. So I gave her this. You see how it says for children, aligned divine? So I gave her that. And once I gave her that and showed her how to activate it, she now was able to tap into her higher self, where she had protection,
Oh, man.
Yeah, and it was, and right to this day, I talked to her the other day, she's still holding it. And it's just like, what I do for the children is because the thing is, these things really can't touch them, but they can still torment them, is what I saw, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, how this worked though, so just like your iPhone, right? Your iPhone is biometric, right? So when you look at it, it connects to your vibration, and that's how it opens through the regular your eyes, right? So all this stuff is connected to your vibration. So just say when I send you one and you look at it, and once it activates, it's for you. It's just like, for instance, like Oprah Winfrey, right? When you, not Oprah Winfrey, but it's a thing called transcendental meditation. You guys ever heard of it? TM meditation. Never heard of it? Something Oprah Winfrey do. But it's how it happens is they give you a Shakti pod, which is a touch you on your forehead, and they give you a mantra, right? So the mantra can be like Om Sai Ram. You know what I'm saying? And then you hold your hands, which is a mudra. When you see yogis holding their hand, because these is digits, right? So when when you see him hold his hands like this, that connects your right and left hemisphere of your brain, because they digits. Or you hold it like this, whichever which way, it's creating a circuitry within your body. So basically, it's kind of like that. It's like once you give the command, you can give the command, align divine, I'm rich within, and then give it this command, boom, and it's like an affirmation. And you'll feel the chemicals releasing your body. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you guys what I do, right? And y'all going to see how good it work, right? When y'all put up the energy, y'all be like, okay, this really worked, because the thing is, you want to be able to show the people that, like, you got technology, your brain, you got a whole laboratory in your body. But this is what they don't want the black man, the black woman to know about how powerful they are. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, we have this glitch going on in our brain. You know what I'm saying? And once the brain get back online, it's over with, because now we have this protection. We have a ring of fire. A lot of times too, when you doing the kind of work you do, people, because you tell the truth. And people don't want to hear the truth, right? So therefore, they do negative stuff, right? And so to protect yourself, this protects you, because this put a ring of fire around you. And I'm guaranteeing you, like just say for instance, you have people that might be like, okay, whatever. They might not like what I'm saying or whatever, but they can't touch me energetically. Because the thing is, my stuff come back with a return to sender instantly. So I'm the one that you don't want to do moochie on. Or I'm that one. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to mess with me. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, I used to fight, but my ancestors told me to stop fighting. You didn't come here to fight. You came here to enlighten minds. You already have people here that's fighting for you. That's like they told me, like, go. So I got a crazy story. Let me tell you this one. so I'm gonna tell you this one story. It's kind of deep. I can go there.
You can go there.
I can go there. Okay. So a lady come to me, bring her friend. Her friend's a prostitute, right? She sleep with like she go to Dubai and sleep with me, and she get paid a lot of money, right? So she's this prostitute. So she wanted to come to me and cleanse her because she can't keep a relationship. So her friend brought her to me to cleanse the energy and cut the energetic cords from all the men she used to sleep with, right? So I was like, all right. So I do a cleanse on her and her boyfriend, the ones they trying to get back together, right? So boom, that was that. And maybe like 3 days later, I'm meditating, I'm asleep, I'm taking a nap. And in my dream, I'm looking over my balcony. It's a whole bunch of females, pretty females, having a photo shoot. Some all on my body, like, hey, I'm hollering at them, right? Like messing with them, right? And it was a guy. He got out the car and he was like, "If you're gonna be, this is in my dream, right? He's like, if you're gonna be screaming and hollering at my woman, you need to throw some money down." And I'm like, "Who you talking to?" He was like, "I'm talking to you." This is what he says in my dream, right? And I'm like, "What?" And he was like, "What?" And then I wake up out the dream, right? And I was like, that was weird. And that dream lingered with me, right? And I go home. It was my grandmother's birthday too. And I go eat, I go have some wine. But see, I know how to go to the spirit realm. I know how to get right in the spirit realm instantly. So I was like, I'm gonna go home and go to the spirit realm, bruh. See what he really talking about. So it's crazy, it is what it is. So I go to the spirit realm, right? I go home and I meditate and I go to the spirit realm. And when I get there, I see him. And I was like, like, this is really what happened, right? So I'm like, bro, I was like, he saw me coming. So I'm not this person in the spirit realm. I'm somebody else, right? So as I see him and I'm walking towards him, I'm like, bro, I was like, before I can say something, he knew what I was there for. And he was this dark-skinned brother with long dreads, right? And his skin, you can tell he was old. He looked like 400 years old. His skin was really dark but gray. And as I'm walking to him, he swung, he did this. He had a tail. So I didn't know this was reptilian dude. So when he swung like this, and I blocked it, right? And however it happened, I had this knife and I cut him 3 times. And then I stuck the knife through his head and I had him on his shish kebab, right? He was a demon, right? And I threw him in the fire. Now remind you the women that was doing the photo shoot, right? They was witches, right? So they start howling like, ah, ah. And these are, so what's going on in Santon, right? It's a big prostitution thing going on, right? And they being held by demonic spirits, right? This is what I come to find out, right? So when I killed this dude in the spirit realm, right? It kind of released a lot of things he had, energies he had on these women that was prostitution, right? So that's why he came to me, because I broke the curse on the lady. Then he tried to come and get at me in the spirit realm, right? So boom, when I do that, boom, and then ladies run, I tell them to go, because I can tell people to go to the light. I was like, go to the light. And I'm sitting down, it was weird, and I'm sitting down like this, and I cross my legs over, and I put my knife like this, and then my mama come. She's like, why did you do that? And I was like, what? She was like, why did you do that? I was like, he was talking mess. She was like, basically, she was like, that's not your job no more. She was like, you're not here to, she was like, that's like the president of South Africa going to Soweto and arresting a drug dealer. She was like, you got more height, right? You being a bully in the spirit realm. That's what she said. So I was like, and that's not stop fighting.
Yeah.
That's not, because I was like, okay, like, all right, whatever. And that's when I understood that I have high priests and priestesses to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to, because she said, basically she was saying, the longer I stay on the battlefield, the longer warriors stay on the battlefield, the chances are high of him getting hurt. It raises high for you to get hurt. So stay out there. Like, you're going to get hurt. You keep, because you can get hurt. Because that's why people die in their dreams. Because they actually die in the spirit realm. You know? That's why when you wake up, you falling off a cliff or something, you wake up right before you fall, right? Because you can die in the spirit realm. And it manifests itself on earth. That's why people like, yeah, they do it all the time. That's why, you know, Because things that I got attacked. So this is really why I got a vendetta a little bit, not really that much. But a woman I was with, they killed our twin sons, witches. You know what I'm saying? They used to attack her every night. You know, they attack her every night. And you have to be careful, especially when you're pregnant, who you let touch you. Because they can curse you. They can curse your baby. So that's what happened with me. And that's why I kind of like feel a certain way about certain things, you know, because I actually took a loss spiritually by witches and demons and warlocks. This stuff exists.
It does exist.
It exists.
Thank you, Jah Cyrus. It's been a very animated conversation we had, and I'm sure we'll call you back again.
I'll show.
Thank you for spending our time with. I'll put all the details so people can support the business in the description box.
Yeah,
Thank you.
There's a lot.
Moya light, Moya upright. Yeah, guys, it's a lot, and it's always such a privilege to give you this stuff. Thank you for watching the adverts all the way to the end. It makes a huge difference. 75% of our income comes from you guys watching the adverts. That's what the stats are saying. So thank you. And then obviously the members, we are in deep gratitude for you always, every month, diligently helping us out. See you again next time.
Who are you when all you were has been diluted by lies and white lines cancelling out all that which has been written of your history? Why do you look at yourself as a mystery? Doesn't the sun shine because you open your eyes? Doesn't the moon stay situated within the same stars your DNA sparkles off? Your spirit knows that surely corner into e off. Buza umoya so you may return to being well off. Because spiritually you are rich, yet your ancestors cry because you are out of reach. But yours is to command all elements while God takes inspiration from the very mirror she looked at to become. Remember who you are and never finish just when they think that with you they are done.